See George Clooney and Julia Roberts do literally the barest of minimums for a hefty paycheck in Ticket to Paradise, written and directed by Ol Parker, who did Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, Why was this movie in theaters and not right to streaming, while Prey and Hellraiser were. Okay, not the best way to do the lyrics for Mamma Mia, Here We Go, but nevertheless, that was about the level of enthusiasm that I was going to put into the intro for Ticket to Paradise. It's a ticket to paradise. Why was this movie put out when it felt like it was back in the 90s or the early 2000s paradise? Look, in all honesty, this movie was never going to be anything grand, but George Clooney, Julia Roberts, two A-list stars. Julia Roberts, I can take or leave in all honesty, but Pretty Woman, will you blow my mind? For the right price, because she was, a lady of the evening there. Nevertheless, always treat your ladies or fellows of the evening with the proper respect and pay them well. That's the PSA right there. She was great in Aaron Brockovich and in a few other movies. George Clooney, I've liked in a lot more stuff. I mean, he admits that Batman and Robin pretty much killed the franchise. Honestly, though, George Clooney, pretty good overall. Grand, The Midnight Sky was absolute shit, absolute goddamn dog shit, and I will never forgive anybody for that movie, but nevertheless, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, two A-list stars. But by the way, Ol Parker wasn't the only writer for this movie. There were two writers for this. You could have hired drunk people, like just out of a bar. You could have just said, hey, we'll give you $20, write down a few romantic comedy things. Could have gone to women in a knitting class, broken into an old lady's home. Maybe don't do that, because that would probably scare her, and then it would be like she has fallen, she can't get up. But you could have found anybody on the street, anybody in their home, anybody with one little brain cell to write things down for a romantic comedy, and you probably could have come up with a bingo card. Let's see. Parents that don't like each other, check. A daughter that's going to get married, or a child that's going to get married, and they got to do something about it, check. A boyfriend that seems like he's perfect, but by God, they got married, so we need to make sure that she doesn't make the same mistake, check. Beautiful location, check. Unlikely comedy, check. And maybe they finally come together and realize that even though they got divorced, they do love each other, and love conquers all, check, 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 and check. The check cleared. That's pretty much the only reason why this movie got made. The other people, the other cast members, such as they were, this was filmed in Bali, or Bali. No, Bali, I think that's how it's said. B-A-L-I, however you pronounce it. You say tomato, I say it was gorgeous scenery, but that's about it. Caitlin Deaver, you met her Captain Deaver. She played Lily, who was the daughter that's going to get married. Well, she is the daughter. She was the daughter in the movie. I assume she's still living, so there you go. Just writing her off right there. Maxima Bautier, who played Gede, G-E-D-E, and Ren Butler, the absolutely hilarious and gorgeous Billie Lourd. Love Billie Lourd since Scream Queens. She's been great. She's great in a couple seasons of American Horror Story. She's got that great voice. And she just has a natural comedic timing. She's just really funny and hilarious and gorgeous. Look, she is. She really does have her mom's acting ability. So, there's a divorced couple. That's George Clooney, by the way, who David, and also Georgia. Not my cat, Georgia, for long-time viewers. That would have been interesting. Also weird, because she passed away about 4 years ago. Now I'm sad. So yeah, Julia Roberts and George Clooney, they have to come together after they find out that their daughter, who finished law school, she's going to be a lawyer soon, but she goes to Bali for fun. Along with Billie Lourd. I would love to go to Bali with Billie Lourd. Nevertheless, let's just ignore that. And then while they're out swimming, she meets Gede, and they fall in love. And then 37 years later, 37 years later, yeah, it really went into the future. 37 days later, even though it felt like 37 years until the conclusion of this movie, they're going to get married. So now they need to fly there, and comedy, and fun, and hilarity. Like drinking so much on a plane. And the pilot is the new squeeze of Julia Roberts' character. He's a French guy who's a flyer. Okay. And then there's also this lady that was going to travel to Bali that was talking about her various family members and her sick dog, but she was traveling there. So good job leaving your sick dog, unattended, you stupid bitch. And then they arrive there, and it's gorgeous scenery, and they do everything they can to stop their daughter from getting married. like taking the rings and disrupting religious or, island traditions. And then there's one point where they're playing beer pong and everybody's just like drinking, and George Clooney and Julia Roberts dance to Jump Around, and I really just wanted the giant meteor to just freaking crash into the earth at this point. God damn you, Ol Parker. Fuck you, Ol Parker, for making this movie. What the hell is wrong with you? That wasn't funny. That was an abomination. What is wrong with you? Your parents would be ashamed. Assuming that your parents are still alive. I don't know. Let me stop knocking Ol Parker, as I'm sure he's a lovely individual who just directed a terrible movie, and talk about the fact that really nothing happens. Like, literally nothing happens. They try to separate the two and work on them and everything. At one point, just a bunch of stuff happens, and then they come together, and does love conquer all? Don't know. You'll have to find out in the spoilers. That's pretty much it. There isn't a lot to this. I don't know why I'm going to bother doing spoilers, because if you, I don't know, have a working eye, even if you have cataracts, you probably could see what the hell's going on here. You could have the milky vision, see it like you're looking through, I don't know, a goddamn saucer, like you're a kitten that puts his face down in the milk dish and said, "How dare you do this to me, you bastard." Why a kitten in a milk dish would be talking like a pregnant woman to her husband when she's trying to give birth, I don't know. Let's stop making this weird comparison. Yeah, it's in theaters if you want to check it out. It should have just gone to streaming. Even with George Clooney and Julia Roberts, yeah, it'll make some money. But Netflix or Hulu could have swallowed this up, and we could have gone with something better for theaters. I've definitely seen worse, but this was just painfully stupid. Yes, it was endearing. Sure, it was endearing. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. This was better than Marry Me, but I've shat things out, just today that were better than Marry Me. Anyway, so yeah, let's just get into spoilers right here. Like, these spoilers will take any more than, I don't know, about 18 sentences. Not like 18 weeks. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. No, wait. Let's do one more thing. Nah, I kidding. Spoilers. By the way, it's 18 presents. That's what I said, not 18 weeks. Not 9.5 weeks, because if you time that, that would actually be 19 weeks. Okay, spoilers. So, they end up... They end up being in separate rooms, but of course they end up coming together, George Clooney and Julia Roberts' characters. They find out that they really did care about each other. And also, G'day is aware that they stole the rings, but he's like, we'll get other rings or whatever. I need to earn their approval and everything. But he doesn't tell his soon-to-be wife, no, why would you, that's fiance, that was a really wordy way to say it. He doesn't tell her that. They go to all these locations, they do the beer pong stuff, they do the drinking, they do the stuff, the bad dancing, the thing to jump around, and a whole bunch of stuff. It was really, really, really bad. It was slumming like crazy. And then they have to come to the conclusion that, well, maybe if our daughter's happy, we should let her be happy. Also, Julia Roberts' French pilot boyfriend shows up, and he asks her to marry him. And then at one point, after asking her to marry him, he gets bit by a snake. She sucks the poison out, and then he's in a hospital for a little bit. Weird plot device there. This movie was 104 minutes and could have honestly been about 89 minutes, and I don't think anything would have been amiss. Hell, you could have cut it down by 104 minutes and just said, we came up with this idea, we realized it's shit, we paid the actors, that's it. Billy Lord got a chance to shine in maybe 2 or 3 scenes. Very disappointing. You should have used her better. Especially when you got somebody that talented and that beautiful on the cast. And then they realize they need to just let them come together. They do. They get married. They do all this stuff. And also there's this side plot about seaweed farming where they do a competition. And they're going to get back together. And they do end up getting back together. Why? Because movie. This movie is shit. Really, really shit. So yeah, Ticket to Paradise gets an F. I know that's probably going to get a lot of people upset. I don't really care. Because there are people that can like it. Again, it's endearing, sure. It's unnecessary and has no right to exist outside of the star power. This is just a way to get people a paycheck. Seriously, watch this and then go watch a romantic comedy from the late 90s, early 2000s. Go watch My Best Friend's Wedding, which was actually something good with Julia Roberts. Don't watch this. Watch that. Anyway, F, agree, disagree what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.